Hello legends, Kade here from kadeturner.com, Kade from the Basin podcast. Welcome to part 2 of the series of Schism, how I've slapped over some sections and used my theoretical knowledge to create the parts and bass lines that I have. I've chosen 4 riffs today and 4 specific parts that I've slapped over and interpreted them my way. You can find this first riff at the 1 minute and 7 second point on the cover. Very famously, the main riff in Schism, which the song is centered around, goes exactly like this. Obviously, Justin uses a pick. Obviously, I haven't. So nice and clean and articulate. You'll notice in my technique that my elbow is tucked in close to my body. I've got a reasonably relaxed posture. My arm isn't too overextended and I don't have a big, massive 90-degree bend in my wrist. This is very important. As you'll see, if your elbow's too tucked in on your slapping side, you can have a tendency to bend the wrist, and this can be very detrimental short term and long term. So I bring my shoulder out, my elbow out, and I'm in a relaxed position with the minimal amount of strain from my forearm going down through my wrist. This is very important to note. With slapping, both hands have all of a sudden become drummers, not to mention playing the melody. So we have to think of everything when we're creating parts this way. So on the accented notes, I'm actually double plucking the octaves, and I'm doing this with my index finger and thumb, like so. And I say this to my students, imagine your left hand was taped together so your fingers are close together and you're not reaching too far over the board this way because you'll get a very dead percussive slap there. So we want to aim for this part of the fingers to come down simultaneously against the strings to give that percussive sound. And all together again. We want those hits to be as articulate and audible and in time as possible. Octave lower, double pluck, Justin Schism riff part number 1, and exactly how I've done it. I'm creative with all of my covers, and if I feel I can make them original through my own interpretation, I do. Riff number 2, where the song moves predominantly from D and shifts down to A. Now, verbatim, Justin is playing it like this. Obviously, he's using a pick. Obviously, I'm not. So what's happening, we've got a fast group of 4 notes. And the first note is plucked, the next 2 are hammered, and the 4th one is plucked. Now, Justin is using open A, G, back to octave A, and then the accented notes are C, B, and D. Very important to note when we are creating parts on our covers that we stay in a melodic area and we're not just pulling notes out of thin air. Now, I'll show you exactly what I've done and then I'll break down how and why I've done it, and more importantly, how it works sonically and rhythmically. I mean, rhythmically, we're not really changing anything, but shifting things down an octave and playing them with a different technique, ultimately we are, but we'd hope to stay in the spectrum where people can still recognise the actual original cover. Awesome. So what's happening? We've kept the initial machine gun triplet, or bucketa, but if you will. The bass is D-tuned, so we are mimicking our high D string, which means G is on the 5th fret. But this is somewhat a passing note, so it's not very audible. But I was very conscious when creating this part specifically to keep it within the melodic parameters, you know, as much as possible. To slow this riff down, I'm doing this. So what's happening is we've shifted our high C and B down to the 3rd and 2nd fret, C and B. That's why it works. We're shifting an octave. We are literally in the same key with the same notes. The open D happens so fast that it's not a rhythmic clash whatsoever. The first part, we've moved down the octave. The second part, I've mimicked Justin exactly, but just slapped it. So it works really nice, and it's nice to move in and out of that riff. So the breakdown of that riff slowly is exactly like this. That's the second riff. I'm proud of that one. I really like it. I love how it come out, actually. Third riff, 1 minute 35 on the cover. Once again, Justin is playing the main iconic riff of the whole song, but I've shifted it down an octave and use the low open D as the leading note into it. So I'll play that now. Awesome. So once again, if we're borrowing notes or using the same notes, I like to add in the octave or the literal note wherever I can. So starting on the low open D, you'll notice I'm straight into the C, which is the 10th fret on the low D string. And everything starts that way. Now, I've used this exact fingering position because that allows me to use the lower octave F, E, and G, which is the, guiding melody throughout this whole track. Slowing that down, it borrows the same principle as the previous riff with the slap, left hand choke, ghost slap and pluck, giving us this. Now sped up, like a machine gun triplet or a flam, it just sounds amazing. I really like that. A lot of my students dig that too. Now, the only tricky part of this riff is where we shift down and accent the E, the D, and then the F, which is exactly what Justin does here. The rhythm doesn't change, but the notes do. And it's important to match that when we're creating parts with our covers. So both of those parts of that riff put together now. Awesome. So this now leads us into riff 4 for this section 2 of the breakdown of how I did my cover of Tool's Schism. And it's very cool because what happens is we lead from riff 3, we do a slight double pluck octave on the E and the D, and then we move up for a nice double pluck fill, leading back into the next section of the song. So there's a few very cool things happening here with rhythm and technique. It's very important to note that I've caught the last E and D, matching Justin. Octave pluck slapped them, double octave plucked them, if you will. Exactly the same to riff 1 with the lower octave double plucks. Awesome. Bit of a Kade Turner signature there. I use them a lot and they seem to work. So after we catch the E and the D, we hit an open A, we slide up on the A string, and we do what's called a root 5th octave pattern on the A, on the G, and then we lead out of it. Justin leads out of this riff with F, so we've just matched him an octave lower. So sonically, I know this is going to work. We are well within our rights of musical harmony to put this fill in. Now I'll move on to the technique. When sliding up on the A, it's very important to set yourself up and be in position to play that root 5 octave pattern. Here's where it gets awesome. This slap fill is a group of 5 notes consisting of a slap, hammer, ghost slap, and a double pluck. How we obtain that is by rolling our right hand away to tail off the riff and just angling our fingers under the strings enough to create an off-timed rhythm, which gives this. Awesome. Before that though, we're giving our machine gun triplet into it. Therefore, this. Love it. Absolutely love it. So, once again, all together. Something else to note, that 2 ways with the left hand fingering are correct to play here. It doesn't matter if you want to use your 3rd finger for the 5th in the octave, as in this, or you want to use fingers 1, 3 and 4. With fingers 1 and 3, with fingers 1, 3 and 4. Awesome. I really hope you've enjoyed the breakdown of those 4 fills, how they work, what I'm thinking about sonically and rhythmically when I create my parts, and how I use musical theory and my understanding of technique to put them all together. For all your touring session and or tuition needs, please get in touch. Kade@kadeturner.com for anything specific. For tuition that's offered through the website, kadeturner.com. Thanks for watching. I've really enjoyed this and I'll see yous on the next one. You.